Hello everyone, I am Kim Long. I will in charge a course of database management system 2. And in this semester, we are going to use Microsoft SQL Server with advanced SQL query language. And I hope all of you know more about the basic concept from the previous semester, such as what is entity, attribute, know more about its relationship, one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many, and especially on normalize and denormalization. Okay, so in this semester, we are going to use Microsoft SQL Server, but before we start, I would like to introduce about MS.SQL Server. So in this chapter, we have 6 content. One is introduction to SSMS. Second, MS.SQL Server type. 3, connect to the server, create database. 5, create table and data type. And 6, database diagram. So 1, introduction to SSMS. What is SSMS? SSMS is an abbreviation of SQL Server Management Studio. It is an integrated environment for managing any SQL infrastructure. So here it means that after you install SQL, MS.SQL in your machine, you can see its infrastructure such as database, how to manage database, how to create table, how to create view. It divides based on its type. Yeah, it divides based on its those type. Okay, for the second, SSMS provide a tool to configure, monitor, and administer instance of SQL Server and database. So after you install, you can use it too. As you see in this picture, yes, it's a tool, and you can configure the instance. I mean, example, you create many instance. Instance is look like database name that you need to access to use the SQL server, MS.SQL Server. Okay, and then you can also use MS.SQL to query, to design, and to manage your database and data warehouse, wherever they are on your local or in the cloud. Yes. For the MS.SQL Server, you can put it in cloud. And now Microsoft, they produce Azure database, but actually Azure database is not support in Cambodia. Azure database is a cloud database, and it's work integrated with MS.SQL Server. Okay, so you can find the MS.SQL Server by click this link that I provide in the below. You can click on it, and it will open the official website. And everyone, you can see or you can look detail about it and download the software, can install in your machine. If not, when we go out to meet in the class face to face, I mean, I will give you a source copy. Okay. For the second, we are talking about the SQL Server type. So actually, here I show you about the SQL Server type. We have 5. One is enterprise. Yeah. Enterprise is it can provide high and data center, okay, capability with blazing fast performance, unlimited virtualization, and end-to-end business intelligence, or we call BI. Okay, but for enterprise, you need to register and buy. Okay, and then we have a standard SQL Server Standard Edition. Yes, we use it for deliver basic data management and business, or BI database in business intelligence database for department or small organization to run their application and support command development tool for on-premise and cloud. Okay. For the third, we can use web. Okay, we can use web server edition. But here we will not use a web, okay, a web edition. Maybe we are going to use two, maybe developer and expression edition, but I will teach you in by using expression edition. Okay, it's free. Okay, for the three, connect to the SQL server. So before we start to connect to the database server, we have to know about the three main important points. One is server type, second is server name, and three is authentication. Okay, actually in server type we have five types that you have to know. Okay, one is database engine. So database engine is default server type. So after you install and you want to connect to your database, MS.SQL Server, you can use database engine. Okay, it is default server type. It used to store, to manage, and to access data from the database. Okay. For the second type is analysis service. Okay, for the analysis service, we use it to create a cube. Okay, a cube. Okay, for second is we use it to show data in multiple dimensions, and it's due to show the data in a hierarchical view or preview. Okay, and three is we use it to display the key performance indicator, and it's due to apply the translation default language in English language. So analysis service is very important for analyze data into something else. Okay. For the third is reporting service. So for the reporting service, we have to use it to generate a report in various format, example, like a standard, like ad hoc, like embedded, etc. For the fourth is compact edition. Okay, maybe you cannot see it in the list after you install if you use the old version, but for the new version, it will display for the fourth point, compact edition. Okay, so for the compact edition, we will use it to develop a mobile application. Okay, we can use it for develop a mobile application, but maybe it not display here, so we need to configure it later. Okay. For the five integration service, so you know in MS.SQL Server you can convert data from one format to another format. I mean, you can convert data from MS.SQL Server to another format. So why we have to convert it? Okay, so here SQL Server table can convert into, maybe sometime we need to import into Oracle server, Oracle database, or maybe you want to import it to MySQL server or MS Access, etc. So integration service, you can convert data and to make it suitable to another database type. Okay. So here you can connect. After you use here, we can use database engine, and you can use server name. Okay. Here is instance name, server name. It will take your machine name and data, like data slash data forward slash is data. So data here is instance name. Okay, and you can use window association. If not, you can use another, and you can use user SAR. Yes, I will show you later, and you can connect. Okay, so here what is instance name that I explained you in the previous. So instance name is the feature allow you to run multiple database on the same host with separate setting. Okay, here. So you can install, you can manage many instance, create many instance in your database engine. Okay, or when a client try to connect to a computer without specifying an instance name, it will be connected to the default instance. Okay. So when you cannot log into MS.SQL Server, it will get kind of this area. So you need to uh, configure it. So example like here, we are connect fail to log for user side. Okay, SA means user side. So after you install in the period you installation of the SQL Server, it will show you it will have one user, it called SAR, so you can configure it. But in case you cannot connect to this user, you need to configure it. Example, how you configure it? You need to right click on the server, select on property and security, and you select on the window association mode, okay, to change it. Okay, for the fourth, create database. So to create database, we have two ways. One, we use command line, and the second, we use it tool, wizard tool. So we can use wizard tool. We can use SQL query language by run this command. Create database DB, example AIB or DB something else. Okay, so create database name. Okay, create database name. Okay, so this one is for creating database by use command line, and the second we can use wizard tool by right click on the database here. You can see right click and select on new database. Okay, after you create, after you create new database, you can select here to use to put the database name. Okay, and you can click OK. If you click OK here, you will see it default. It will take the default size, default mark size like this, like file grow, like mark file size example. Okay. For the fifth point, we are going to talk about the create table and data type. So in creation data table, we also have two ways. One, we can use wizard tool, and the second, we use SQL query language. So you can use SQL query language, or we call SQL statement by use this. One, we can create table. Create table is the query syntax, and DB TBL student is a table name. And then you can put the field inside open bracket and close bracket here. So you open it and you can put list the field name. Example ID, student name, gender, POB or phone number example. Okay, so ID, I take integer. You can put bracket or not. You can. It's up to you. You can remove it. It's okay. So ID, data type, identity is 1 1. It means that we want it create increase start from 1 and increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Increase 1. I mean count up 1 by 1 by itself. Okay. For the student name is a second field, and it data type is and varchar. Okay, and varchar can support Unicode, gender, POB, and phone number. But you can see this one primary key. What is primary key? So as you know, in one table, when you create a table, you need to assign it primary key. Example, here we assign primary key to ID. We assign primary key to ID. So you can assign with the same line, or you can assign it later. It's okay. It's okay. Both is okay. Okay. For this one is a syntax for create a table by using SQL statement. For the second way, you can use wizard tool. Okay. So before you create a table, you need to find a database that you create in the previous, and then you list. Example, you list here. You see the minus sign. Okay, but it default is plus sign. So you select on plus sign, it will show minus sign. And then you see And then you will see a folder. You will see a folder called table. Okay, so you select on this menu. Sorry, it's menu called table. You select right click on it, and then you select on new and new table, and then you can assign the field name. Example ID, student name, gender, POB, and phone. Okay, so ID is primary key. So to assign the primary key, you can select double click on this column. In this column, you double click on it, so it will show the yellow key. So yellow key is mean that it is primary key. Okay, so here in teacher, but you look at this one. You look at this column property, and then after you see this one, I assign identities 1 1. It means that I want it auto increment 1 by 1. So here how I can make it auto increments by 1 by 1. So you select on the field, example ID, you select on ID field, and then you scroll up to see a column property, and then you find a name called you find a menu called identity specification, and you select on yes, and then you can select this one, identity increment 1 and identity sets 1. So it means that it will start from 1 and increment by 1. If you change it to 2, identity increment to 2, not 1. So it means that it starts from 1 and count up by 2, round up by 2. So it means 1, 2, maybe 4 or 6, yes, like that. So this one is 4, make it auto increment. And for the field student name, you can change the data type here. So the data type, like student name is a character. You can input a string. So you select it and varchar. And varchar is support for Unicode. Okay, like gender, like phone, like another field. Okay. So when you see this mistake, example, after you create, when you see this mistake, you cannot change your table structure. So how? So you need to recreate a table. So how? You go to tool menu, select option, design, and table and database engine. Okay. And then you select on it and select find a column name. Okay. You can see this default and you can select okay. Okay. So this one I am introduce you about how to create table and about how to create table. So now we know about its data type. So in SQL Server have many type. Yes, have many type. So the type is very important. You have to understand. It's very important because if you assign it wrong data type, when you assign wrong data type, it may be affect later when you develop application. So you cannot calculate an example. Age, field age is a number, but you can assign a string. But maybe later you want to calculate an age by use mathematic formula, example plus, like minus, like divide, etc. So it will be got an error because string cannot calculation with a number. Yes. So you have to understand about it data type. Okay. So SQL Server data type, it have numeric data type, it have a character, string, a binary string, have date and time, and etc. Okay, so you can see it like numeric, it has float or real number or integer. Approach numeric, it has float and real. For the exact numeric, it has big in, it has in, a decimal, in money, etc. Okay, tiny in is Boolean. You can assign true, false in into this field. Okay, and that time that is assigned only that format. So it take year, it take month, and it take day, no time. So if you want to include the time, you have to use the time. Okay, now we can see it this table. about detail of database type. Example like begin, lower limit is from minus 2 power 63, and upper limit is 2 power 66 minus 1. Okay, and it take memory XY, and you can see this one. You can see it. Okay, you can see it, this detail. But here I want you to note one point about the char and char, varchar and trig. But here we use and trig and char and varchar and trig. So this one is not support for Unicode. I mean, maybe sometimes you entry the name in Khmer language, not in English language. So if you want this database support, this one table support with the Unicode, you have to use and char. So you can assign the Unicode. You can write or entry data in Khmer language. Okay. For database diagram is very important. Yes, it's very important. So why I said it is very important? Because database diagram, it will show you about a flow of many tables, a flow of some table that is connect together. Okay. So database diagram, it's easy for you to query, especially in the join table. Yeah, in join table. So in join table, you have to know how it works. I mean, the process flow, the data flow, where it's starting and next and to the end. Yes, to the end, about the data flow. Okay, so to create it, you have two ways. One, you can select like this. You can select. Okay, in database, you will see a menu called database diagram. Right click on it, and then you can click on new database diagram. And then you can add table. You can add table to diagram 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you can click add. Okay, after you click add this table, you will see it will have a relationship like this. So a relationship is connect to what you analyze that you have learned from the first semester. So you need to analyze it, and then you design a table based on what you analyze. And then you want to create a diagram, so you just follow my step that I show you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, and then you will see a table relationship. But in table relationship, I will show you two ways. One, you use wizard tool, and second, you use query language. But I suggest all of you use query language. It means that when you create a table by using query language, so this table will automatically create a relationship when you create a diagram. Yes, when you create a diagram. So this table, it will connect it together automatically. Okay. So for the question for review, you need to answer all what I have explained. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the second homework, I want all of you to create a database called ExamDB. And then you have to use your query language, not wizard tool. I recommend, firstly, I recommend all of you use query language to create a table. And then that table must be connected like this. So now I just want you to do some research about one, how to assign the primary key, and then again, how to assign the foreign key. Because primary key and foreign key, it's make two or many tables connected together. Yes. So primary key and foreign key is the key point for table connected together. Okay. So I will detail and I will guide all of you in class when we face-to-face learning. Okay. See you guys.